Ladies and gentlemen, when you put on a major wrestling show, especially in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, Newfoundland, you got to have something for everybody. You got to have a mix of new stars, up-and-coming stars, established champions, world champions, and that's what Capital City Wrestling did in Fredericton at the big event on the Lord Beaverbrook UNB STU campuses on the weekend. Now, rough count from the organizers they gave me, well over 500 people packed the facility. Normally, what they call a multi-sport venue, for this, wrestling was quite good. Now, people came from across the Maritimes, Quebec, different regions that come in. The crowd was very enthusiastic, and history was made because LuFisto, probably considered the best Quebec-based wrestler, now a wrestling icon for 2 decades, has won belts all over the world, was featured. She was recently celebrated in the PWI Top 150 for women's wrestlers and the PWI Top 500 worldwide for all wrestlers. So an iconic wrestler. Met her at the merch table, a nice lady. Genevieve has always been representing the sport, our home regions of Quebec, with distinction. Now, the other world-ranked champion or world champion there was the great Rene Dupree. Rene, of course, a link with Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling, 2-time WWE, WWF World Tag Team Champion, 2-time world champion in Japan for pro wrestling, Noah. He stated on Facebook before the card and on the mic at the event, it might be his last match. Now, I thought it was kayfabe. I guess he has some kind of physical situation he's going to keep a look at. He had mentioned to me in passing as something to do with previous injuries or previous diagnosis. We wish him the best. If it is his last match, it was quite interesting because there was a moment where he was thrown in one of the barricades and he took out 3 or 4 of the fans. Fortunately, no one was injured, but it was a very interesting match. Rene has always been a physical specimen that's beyond and beyond, a former New Brunswick bodybuilding champion, known around the world for his commitment to physical excellence. Cafe de Rene, his podcast channel, will update his situation. Please check it out. Now, for the card itself, it went about close to 3.5, 4 hours. No disrespect to the organizers. The first half of the show was tremendous, but we were having some mic problems. The second half was a little bit extended. Now, New Brunswick Wrestling Association put on the card. There were several belts that were defended, including River Valley belts and provincial belts. Again, well put together, but a little bit too long. Now, if you're going to have a 7 o'clock card, see, we're going up against Survivor Series on WWE Network's system that night. But for the people that showed up, I have to give the match of the night wasn't in the ring. The match of the night were the great enthusiasm by the fans shown. Now, the venue we're at, it's a beautiful venue on the floor, and it has risers on both sides like an old-fashioned, what they call second-tier hockey rink. And check out their website, Capital City Wrestling. There was some video from the match last night. If you're a photographer or a videographer, it's a great venue to take pictures or shoot video. But the idea, if this is Rene's last match, anybody that was there, and I posted something on Facebook that Rene picked up about. It said, finally Rene Dupree has come home. New Brunswick has been good to the Dupree families. His father ran Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling for years. All the wrestlers that were in Atlantic Grand Prix were affiliated also with Lutte International. New Brunswick was one of their main provincial venues with Nova Scotia and PI. Fredericton, Moncton, St. John, Beldoon, Pinnarush, Batters, Miramichi, they traveled for years. So, again, Rene's that link to the great years of Atlantic Grand Prix, which go back now almost 50 years. And if you're a wrestling fan, that night. So I like to dedicate this podcast to several people. My good pal with Crown and Main Wrestling, Vaughn Taggart. My former wrestling columnist for Brunswick News, Todd Forgrave. My brother from another mother, Rain Ravens. We enjoyed a moment, like as every time we talk wrestling, it's like we're 12-year-old kids again seeing wrestling the first time. And of course, my good pals, Herb Ward, my former fellow student for NBCC Woodstock, and his brother Sterling. We went down. It was kind of interesting there because we were trying to find a venue, and we found the wrong venue. We found a rink, but we didn't find the athletic field house. But we got there and had a great time. But as Herb said driving home, he said, a wrestling card, you never know what's going to happen. It could be 2 hours or 4 hours. Well, like I said, but I want to give kudos to the organizers. There was a great mixture of new and established and different wrestlers, well put together, and like I said, a good time was had by all. But two things, if the organizer listening to this, you need a better mic or sound system, and you have to find a way to 35-minute matches after 7 o'clock. Don't need it. 15 to 20-minute matches would be better. And Wesley Pipes was there, a big fan favorite in Maine and New Brunswick. Wesley, keep up the good work. Wesley had a very strong match. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. Capital City Wrestling on Facebook, check it out. A lot of followers. Check out the wrestlers again. NordPro as well. Some of the NordPro alumni was there last night. And again, last show for that company for this year. Check them out. They're probably going to be back in the new year. And like I said, wrestling federations come and go, but when you get over 500 people in the midst of Fredericton on Survivor Series night, you must be doing something right. So that the fans were the highlight, just to see the amount of fans. And you know it's a good sign. We delayed the start bell time by 15 minutes to let everybody in. It was close to a capacity, and that's saying a lot for any wrestling. I've covered wrestling as a journalist where only 40 people showed up. So last night, 10 to 15 times that amount, just tremendous. Thanks for listening. Bye.